Thank you, Mr. President. 3 years ago today, the world watched in shock as the Russian Federation launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine, a clear violation of the UN Charter and international law. This act undermined the very foundations of the international order. For 3 long years, the people of Ukraine have endured relentless death, destruction, and displacement. Families have been torn apart, lost loved ones, and witnessed their homes and entire cities reduced to rubble. The Office of the High Commissioner of Human Rights has verified that since 24 February 2022, at least 12,654 Ukrainian civilians, including 673 children, have been killed. Another 29,392, including 1,865 children, have been injured. The actual figures are likely considerably higher. The numbers only continue to rise as Russia's brutal attacks persist across the country. In 2024 alone, civilian casualties increased by 30% compared to the previous year. The war has created the largest displacement crisis in Europe since the Second World War. More than 10 million Ukrainians remain uprooted, 3.6 million displaced within Ukraine, and 6.9 million seeking refuge abroad. Many remain in precarious conditions, uncertain whether they will ever return home. Beyond the immediate physical devastation, the long-term psychological toll on an entire generation of Ukrainians is incalculable. Ukraine is now among the most heavily mined countries in the world. This is a deadly legacy that will take years to overcome, including its immense environmental consequences. For 3 consecutive winters, repeated strikes on the energy grid have left communities without power, heating, or other essential services. Over 2 million families remain without adequate shelter. At least 790 attacks have damaged or destroyed medical facilities. This has put the lives of countless patients at risk, with medical professionals struggling to work under extreme circumstances. In 2024 alone, attacks on medical facilities tripled compared to the previous year. The education system has also been decimated. More than 3,600 schools and universities have been damaged, preventing 600,000 children from attending classes in person. Last year, attacks on educational facilities surged by 96% compared to 2023. Mr. President, over the past 3 years, the conflict has also escalated and expanded, not only across Ukraine, but into parts of the Russian Federation. We have seen reports by local Russian officials of increased civilian casualties and damage to civilian infrastructure in the Kursk, Belgorod, and Bryansk regions of the Russian Federation due to alleged Ukrainian attacks. It cannot be said often enough. Attacks against civilians and civilian infrastructure violate international humanitarian law. They are unacceptable no matter where they occur.
Our draft resolution is elegant in its simplicity, a symbolic, simple first step toward peace. The 3 brief paragraphs echo the spirit of the UN Charter and must, as in 1945, affirm that this war is awful, that the UN can help end it, and that peace is possible. We hear our European colleagues when they say they want a durable peace, but not at any cost. Mr. President, to them I would say, rest assured that we too seek this durable peace, and we would remind these colleagues that this resolution is not a peace deal, and it imposes no costs. Rather, this resolution represents the path to peace. We urge all Security Council members to join the United States under the bold leadership of President Trump in this effort to vanquish the scourge of this war. We urge all Council members to join us on this path to peace.
We are introducing amendments on behalf of Denmark, Greece, France, Slovenia, and the United Kingdom. There can be no equivalence between Russia and Ukraine in how this Council refers to this war. Russia chose to launch a war of aggression against a sovereign state, costing hundreds of thousands of lives. The Council must be clear on this to find a path to a sustainable peace. We must also be clear that peace must respect the UN Charter and Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity within its internationally recognized borders. These are core principles. Upholding the Charter is the responsibility of every member of the UN, especially this Council. Earlier today, in the UN General Assembly, there was widespread support for these amendments among the wider UN membership. We would hope that all in this Council would be able to support similar language. As such, Mr. President, we request, first, to replace, I quote, the Russia-Ukraine conflict, unquote, in paragraph 1 with, quote, the full-scale invasion of Ukraine by the Russian Federation, end quote. Second, to insert a new preambular paragraph 3 to read as follows, quote, reaffirming its commitment to the sovereignty, independence, unity, and territorial integrity of Ukraine within its internationally recognized borders, extending to its territorial waters. Third, and to amend the operational paragraph so it would read, quote, implores a swift end to the conflict and further urges a just, lasting, and comprehensive peace between Ukraine and Russia in line with the UN Charter and the principles of sovereign equality and territorial integrity of states, end quote. I thank you, President.
La France n'a pas voté en faveur du projet de résolution présenté par les États-Unis. En effet, si elle est pleinement engagée pour la paix en Ukraine, elle appelle à une paix globale, juste et durable, et certainement pas à la capitulation de l'agressé.
Американский проект резолюции по украинскому кризису мы в целом рассматриваем как здравую инициативу, шаг в правильном направлении, отражающий стремление новой администрации Белого дома внести реальный вклад в мирное урегулирование конфликта. Ценим уже неоднократно высказанное президентом Трампом понимание того, что у украинского кризиса есть свои глубинные причины. С тем, чтобы эта инициатива в большей мере соответствовала пониманиям, достигнутым в ходе российско-американских контактов на высшем и высоком уровнях, мы предлагаем в него поправку о необходимости устранения коренных причин украинского кризиса, которая звучит следующим образом. Что касается поправок, представленных европейскими странами, то они откровенно подменяют суть американского текста, превращая его в очередной антироссийский ультиматум в духе Бюргенштокского процесса. Мы будем голосовать против их принятия и призываем остальных поступить так же. Очевидно, что ставшая на рельсы милитаризма Европа сегодня единственный игрок на международной арене, который желает продолжения войны и всеми силами противится любым реалистичным инициативам по регулированию конфликта. Призываем всех, кто действительно хочет добиться устойчивого мира на Украине, не дать просроченному киевскому князьку и его кукловодам сорвать предпринимаемые Россией и США.